prohibition for import and export under custom duty. You are not supposed to take RBI rate, you are supposed to take only central board exchange rate. In the question paper, if you find these things, you have to ignore. Other than this, everything you have to consider. Don't write anything on your own because it is a registration procedure. In your own, you cannot register this. That's why you have to write the actual points what it is given in your notes. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to revision class for your final year BCom. I am your Adarsh sir, lecturing Vidhyaashram College, the Temple of Excellence. So, we are in the session called your question paper solving. Before your examination, if you watch these classes, this will be very helpful to score 80 out of 80. So in today's session, we will solve your last year question paper 2019. In this, what you will understand? You will understand the concepts as well as the presentation, how you need to present in your examination. So in this question paper, your complete syllabus is covered. So we'll go with two sessions. The session 1 will be your part A, means your 20 marks questions. Session B will be, or session 2 will be your part B as well as part C. Now, my subject is called Business Taxation 4. We also call it as GST and Custom Duty. So it is completely based on indirect tax. In taxation, we have two things. One is direct tax and indirect tax. This topic covered under indirect tax. So what will be your question paper pattern? As you know, it will be 20 marks into 2 questions. It will be 40. 10 marks each for 2 questions. It will be 20 marks. 5 marks into 4. It will be 20. Your overall marks is 80 marks. In this, out of for 20 marks, you will be having 4 questions. Out of 4, you are supposed to answer only 2, 50%. Now, again for 10 marks, out of 4 questions, you are supposed to answer only 2. Out of 6 questions, you are supposed to answer any 4. What will come for 20 marks, 10 marks and 5 marks? We will discuss. For your 20 marks, first question will be your custom duty. So your custom duty will come for 20 marks. The complete problem along with the calculation of tax. And the second question for 20 marks, value of taxable supply. Second question will be value of taxable supply. What will be your third question? Your third question will be input tax credit plus theory. So for 20 marks, 2 questions will be completely problem. But the third question will be problem with theory. It will be 10 marks problem as well as 10 marks theory. My suggestion, always go with custom duty and value of taxable supply. Why? Because you can score 20 out of 20 out of this 2 problems. Now, the fourth question will be registration procedure under GST. These are your 20 marks questions. Write down this. Your 20 marks, you will be having 4 questions. First one will be custom duty. Second one, value of taxable supply. Third one, ITC, input tax credit. Along with input tax credit, you will get one theory question. The last will be registration procedure under GST. So these are the practical as well as theory oriented question. Registration procedure, they may ask, or else they may ask the prohibition under import or export. Again, I'll repeat, for your 20 marks, they may ask you what are the registration procedure, or they may also can ask The question will be prohibition for import and export under custom duty. The third question will be types of custom duty. Out of these three, any one will come for 20 marks. Again, I'll repeat, for 20 marks, you will get the registration procedure, types of custom duty, prohibition for import and export under custom duty. Out of three, one question compulsory will come for 20 marks. This is all about your 20 marks. Now, what about 10 marks question? Now, for your 10 marks, the first question will be your custom duty. Second question, value of taxable supply. Third one, input tax credit, and the fourth one again it will be theory. Now whatever you got for 20 marks, thus from the same topic one more question will be given for 10 marks. First one will be custom duty. Part of the question will be asked value of taxable supply, then input tax credit. Second type problem will come, and the last one will be theory. As I told you, the three theories, out of three, one will come for 20, one will come for 10. Hope there is no confusions. Now, last part is your 5 marks. What will come for 5 marks? For your 5 marks, again you will get custom duty. The second one will be your time of supply. Your first chapter of your syllabus, time of supply, easiest thing. Then along with this theory, and you may get problems from ITC or problems from value of taxable supply. So these will be your question paper pattern as well as the questions which comes under 20, 10 as well as 5. We'll move towards question paper. Now, this is your part A. Answer any two questions each from the part A. Each question carries how many marks? 20 marks. First, this is your custom duty problem. In this, what you are supposed to do? You are supposed to do, you have to calculate assessable value. After calculating assessable value, you have to calculate tax. Tax calculation. How much custom duty has to be paid? That also you have to be calculated. Now, in this format, I'll give you shortcut. Don't go with the concept. Don't go in depth. Whatever shortcut I'll give you, that much only will come for your examination. What is that shortcut? In custom duty, in the question paper, they will give you everything. Few things we are not supposed to consider. Which are those? First one will be buying commission. First one will be your buying commission. In the question paper, if you find the word called buying commission, you are not supposed to take. The second thing, any expenses made in India. So custom duty means what? Any import or export from other country, we have to pay tax. That tax we call it as custom duty. These are the things, the list which I am giving you. Those things, if you find in the question paper, you have to ignore. You are not supposed to take that. What is the first one? Buying commission. Second one, any expenses made in India, we are not supposed to take. And the third one, transit, or we can also call it as freight, from Indian port to factory. So, for example, you have imported your goods from abroad. Now, once it is imported, your branch is in Bangalore, but it is imported where? Delhi. From Delhi to Bangalore, you need to transport. It is what? In India. So, any transportation or freight, Indian port to factory, we are not supposed to take. Remember this. In India, if we do any transportation, those are not part of your custom duty valuation. Now, the fourth one, any installation charges are not part of your custom duty. Clear? These four things you have to remember. What is the first thing? Buying commission. Second one, any expenses made in India. Third one, transit or freight expenses, not normal transit and freight. Any transit or freight made from Indian port to factory. If any transit made abroad, we should consider. Any transit made from Indian port to factory, we are not supposed to take. The last part is installation charges. In India, if you do any installation, those things cannot be considered. Clear? Yes. We'll go for the answer. Simple thing, whatever given in the question, everything we should consider, excluding these things. Same thing, whatever amount given, it is in dollars. The dollars has to be converted to what? Rupees. They will give you two rates as per RBI, as per CB, means Central Board. Now, we are not supposed to consider RBI, we should consider CB, Central Board Exchange. Whatever rate given by Central Board, we have to consider, not given by RBI. Remember this, very important. Why? Because everything you need to convert to dollars to rupees. If you are taken wrong rate, your whole problem is wrong. Again, I will repeat. Normally in the question paper, they will give you two rates. One is exchange rate as per RBI, exchange rate as per CB, means Central Board. Now, you are not supposed to take RBI rate, you are supposed to take only Central Board exchange rate. Clear? Yes. Now, cost of machine imported, consider. Packing charges, consider. Commission paid, consider. 5% on cost means your cost is $50,000. On 50,000, 5%. Clear? Yes. Buying commission, you are not supposed to take. Why? I have given you the least. So buying commission, we will not take. Next, design and development, consider. Technical fees, consider. Ocean freight, consider. Insurance, yes. Material supplied by the importer, yes. Transport and transit insurance, port to factory, so you are not supposed to take. As I told you, transit air freight, Indian port to factory, we are not supposed to take. Then basic custom duty, these we will come later. Once if you done this, then we'll come for tax calculation. Clear? Yes. This will be your answer. Cost of machine, packing, commission, buying commission, design, technical, material supplied. As I told you, we have taken everything. First column will be in dollars. Everything we have to convert to what? I'll go back to your question. Notified exchange rate is 70 per dollar. We have to convert to 70. Now, so everything you should write it in dollars. Later it will be converted to multiplied with 70. Example, it is 50,000. 50,000 multiplied with 70. You will get 35 lakh. Everything you have to multiply with 70. Now, remember, total of first column is not important. The total of second column is important. Whatever you are converted to rupees, that is important. This total is not important. Clear? Yes. Now, if you total everything, what you will get, that we call it as FOB, free on board. Now, for this, you have to add freight, you have to add insurance premium. Now, freight is how much? 3,000. Insurance premium is 2,000. Now, in this, you have an adjustment. Listen carefully. Now, in case in the question paper, they have not given insurance. In the question paper, they have not given insurance. Then remember, you should consider 1.125% on FOB. Remember, this is very important. Note number 1. In the question paper, if it is not given, the insurance value of 2000 is not given, then you should consider 1.125% of FOB. It is your FOB. Your FOB is how much? 42 lakh 95,000. On that, 1.125%. Clear? Yes. Now, this is done. Now, note number 2. Note number 2. What is note number 2? The note number 2 is insurance is done. Come to freight. Freight means what? Transportation. There are three ways of transportation. I'll go back to your first slide. See, you have air transportation. In the ship also you can transport. By road also you can transport. How many ways of transportation we have? Three. Road, air and by ship. Now, I'll come back to your answer. Yeah. The freight charges. In the question paper, they have given freight charges. Whatever amount given, you have to consider. But in the question paper, they have mentioned that the freight of air means it is transported with the help of aeroplane or air transportation. Then remember, you have to take 20% of FOB or actual given, whichever is less you have to consider. Again, I'll repeat, if in the question paper they have given freight charges, in case of freight consider actual value. In case of freight by road, take actual value. Freight by sea, ship, actual value. But if they have given freight by air, then what you should do is actual value or 20% of FOB, whichever is less. This is your note 2. Freight by air, then actual value or 20% of FOB, whichever is less. Whichever is less, you should consider. Hope you understood. Clear? Yes. So, example I'll give you. In the question paper, they have given freight 1000. Your FOB is 10,000. What is your FOB? 10,000. And freight, they have given 1,000. How much you have to take? If it is by air, then what you should do? 20% of FOB. How much it is? 2,000. What is the actual given? 1,000. Whichever is less, yes, this is less. You should consider only 1,000. This is a calculation you have to remember. Hope you understood. Clear? Yes. Now, if you add everything, you will get assessable value. Clear? Yes. You will get assessable value. Up to this, we call it as part 1. Once you got assessable value, later we have to calculate custom duty. How much to tax payable? Now, you have custom duty, basic custom duty, social welfare, IGST, compensation cess. Maybe everybody have doubt that what percentage we should take. What is the procedure to calculate? Those things will be cleared now. So write down everything. I'll remove this. Take a screenshot of this so that you will get note 1 and note 2. Now, so these are the tax calculation. For this, I'll give you simple logic. Remember that logic, easy to understand. Now, you have, remember BSS and CI. Now, B for basic custom duty. Basic custom duty. S for social welfare. Social welfare cess. And another S for safeguard duty, and C for compensation cess, and the last one I for IGST. In your custom duty, you will get 5 types of taxes: basic custom duty, social welfare, safeguard, compensation, and IGST. How to take this now? If they give basic custom duty, remember assessable value into percentage. Whatever assessable value you got on that percentage. Social welfare duty, this one, whatever answer you got from basic custom duty multiplied with percentage. Basic custom duty multiplied with custom duty. Now, if you get safeguard duty, how to calculate? Simple. Assessable value multiplied with percentage. For calculation of safeguard duty, assessable value multiplied with percentage. Now come for compensation. Very important. Yeah. For compensation says, remember, you have to consider assessable value plus basic custom duty plus your social welfare cess plus your safeguard duty on that percentage. Very, very, very important. While calculating compensation cess, you have to consider assessable value, basic custom duty, social welfare cess, safeguard duty, add everything, then calculate percentage. Remember, compensation means complete. Compensation means complete. Excluding IGST, you should consider everything for calculation. Clear? Yes. Last one, IGST. Assessable value plus basic custom duty plus social welfare cess on that percentage. There is a major thing for calculation of custom duty. Remember this. So whatever the information I have given, this is as per Mysore University. Now you have to follow the same thing for at the time of calculation. Now in the question paper they have not given safeguard duty. Example, in the question paper they have not given safeguard duty. Then basic, social, compensation, IGST. That's it. While calculating compensation, we will not consider safeguard duty. Why? Because in the question paper it is not given. Now, what about social welfare duty? Earlier you had education cess. Now we don't have education cess. Instead of education cess, we have social welfare cess. In the question paper, if it is not given also, it is compulsory. You have to consider 10%. It is always you have to consider 10% on social welfare cess. Hope you understood. Now, whatever calculation I have done, apply this formula and do this. So, my suggestion, I'll go out of the screen, take a screenshot of this. Every problem, apply this format to do your calculation. So this will be first question for your 20 marks. We'll go for the second one. Your second one, it is from your chapter 3, taxable value or taxable value of supply. Or else we can call it as value of taxable supply. Compared to your GST, it is very easy to calculate. Now, in this, which are the things we are not supposed to take? Same thing I'll explain you. You remember those things. Other than those, everything you have to consider. The first thing, any subsidy from government. If you collected any subsidy from government, you are not supposed to take. In the question paper, you may get subsidy from central government. Don't take. Subsidy from government. Don't take. If it is subsidy from NGO, you have to take. Why? Because as I told you, only subsidy from government is not part of your taxable supply. Clear? Yes. What is the second one? Any alcoholic things. Any alcoholic things not part of your taxable supply. And the third one, club facilities. So again I am repeating, I am not going with the concept, I am giving you shortcut for your examination. These things you have to remember in your mind. In the question paper, if you find these things, you have to ignore. Other than this, everything you have to consider. Now, club facilities you have to skip. And the fourth one, returnable container. Any returnable container is there, we have to exclude. And the next one, CGST, SGST and IGST. You have to ignore. You are not supposed to consider CG, SG and IGST calculation or tax value. In case in the question paper they have given municipal tax, you have to consider municipal valuation. You have to consider. Only these things we are not supposed to take. Next, sixth one, fine and penalties. Any fines and penalties we are not supposed to take. We are supposed to take, but along with fines and penalties in the bracket given, waived off, then we are not supposed to take. Remember, in the question paper, if they give fines and penalties, we have to take. But in the bracket, they have given that it is waived off. Then we are not supposed to take. Clear? These things you have to remember while doing value of taxable supply. These things we should ignore. Other than this, whatever you get, everything keep on adding, write the total. That is only your taxable value of supply. Now, in this, supplies 50 tons of chemicals, 40,000 per ton. Multiply and write. You have to take freight, consider package, yes, weighing expenses, yes, cost of instrument, yes, instrument of the place, yes, loading and handling, yes, cost of pre-delivery, yes, subsidy received from state government. We should take or not? Yes, we should not take. I have given you the list. We are not supposed to take this now. Date of invoice, these two are not required for your question. So we are not doing any calculation with the date, so dates are not important. Now compute the value of taxable supply and GST payable. Hope you understood how to solve this. I'll go for the answer. They have taken everything as I told you, except what any subsidy from state government they have not taken. Clear? Yes. You have to add everything, then you will get value of taxable supply. Once if you got value of taxable supply, what is the tax calculation? What is the GST rate? 18%. Now on 27 lakh 12,000, 18%. In this 18%, we have CGST and we have SGST. 9% will go for CGST and 9% will go for SGST. Now, so calculate how much? 27 lakh 12,000 multiplied with 9%. Similarly, 27 lakh 12,000 at 9%. The overall 18% we split into 9% and 9%. This is your answer for value of supply and GST. Clear? Yes. Now, so 20 marks, 2 problems we completed. Now we are moving to third problem. As I suggested you, always go with problems. Don't go for theory for 20 marks. Why? Because if you want 20 out of 20, the problems are preferable. Now, Mention the conditions for claiming input tax credit. These are the conditions to take input tax credit. You have to remember all the points. Points are not sufficient. Along with points, you have to explain minimum one or two lines. Now, in question number 3, as I told you, there is a part A and part B. Why? Because it is not complete 20 marks problem. 10 marks you will get theory, 10 marks you will get problem. Together you will get 20 marks. Now, Mr. Madhu, a supplier, gives the following detail. Compute GST payable. So, in this we have to calculate how much tax payable. Now, simple calculation. This is what your outward supply, inward supply. Outward means sales. Inward means purchases. Outward means sales, inward means purchases. Now, they have given intrastate, interstate. What do you mean by intra and inter? Very simple. Intra means within the state. In Karnataka, from Bangalore to Mysuru sale, we call it as intra. From Bangalore to Bangalore sales, intra. One district to another district within the state, we call it as intrastate. Now, what is interstate? Karnataka to Tamil Nadu, Tamil Nadu to Andhra. These kind of sales, we call it as interstate sale. In case for intrastate, we get CGST and SGST. For interstate, we get IGST. Remember this, very important. For intrastate, we calculate CGST, SGST. For interstate, we calculate only IGST. Very important. Now, simple calculation. It is outward, it is inward. Calculate tax on these things. Calculate tax on inward also, minus, and along with that you have 40,000, 30,000 and 70,000. These are called as input tax credit. You have to minus input tax credit at the end. We'll do this calculation. There are total 3 parts. One will be your outward, second one will be your inward, and third one will be computation of GST payable. What is outward? Outward is what? Your 12 lakh and 4 lakh. What is a percentage on 12 lakh? What is the percentage? If it is intrastate means 18%. 18 we need to split 9%. Now 12 lakh into 9 by 100. You will get 1 lakh 8,000. 12 lakh into 9 by 100. You will get 1 lakh 8,000. Now what is the next one? Interstate. Interstate means only 1. So what is that? IGST. Now in this you have 4 lakh. For 4 lakh, so what is the percentage? 18%. If you calculate 18%, you will get 72,000. 72,000 will come where? Yes, 72,000 will come for IGST. Hope you understood. These are outward supply. Now, once the outward is done, then we'll go for inward purchases. Now, before that, we have to write opening ITC. Opening given IGST 40,000, CGST 30, SGST 70. So opening CGST 30, SGST 70, IGST 40,000. As per the opening balance, we have written. Once if it is done, then again come back to your question. Yeah, you have 5 lakh. For 5 lakh, 9% and 9%. This is CGST. This is SGST. Why it is CG and SG? Why? Because intrastate. Clear? Yes. Now, the second one is only 18%. What is this? IG ST. Why do we call it as IGST? Why? Because it is interstate. Clear? Yes. If you calculate, you will get, these are the opening balance 4545. The IGST is 18,000. Your output is 1 lakh 8. This is your summarize of your first one. Your output is 1 lakh 8. Your input is 75. Output is 1 lakh 8. Input is 1 lakh 15,000. Output is 72. Input is how much? 58. From your output, you have to minus your second format. Now, your payable is how much? 1 lakh 8. How much you paid? 75. Still, how much is pending? 33,000 pending. Now, your payable is 1 lakh 8. You paid 1 lakh 15. Means you paid more or less. You paid more. Means you paid 7,000 more. Now, your payable is 72, but you paid only how much? 58. Still you have to pay 14,000. Any doubt up to this? Hope there is no doubt. Now, in this, there is a logic called if. There is any shortage for IGST, he can borrow from SGST, he can borrow from CGST. Again, I will repeat. If there is any shortage, for example, what is a payable? 72. How much he paid? 58. Still, how much is pending? 14,000. This 14,000 he can borrow from this person also, he can borrow from this person. But this person has shortage, but this person has 7,000 excess. So he borrowed 7,000 from him. 14,000 minus 7, the balance payable is 7. Clear? Yes. First person still he has to pay 33 because he cannot borrow from anyone. The logic is very simple. Remember this. If there is a shortage for IGST, he can borrow from this person. He can borrow from this person. He has two options. He can collect from this, he can collect from this. But a condition is they should have excess like this. He had excess 7,000, so he has given to this fellow. Clear? Yes. Now, if this person has shortage, he can borrow from this person. If this person has shortage, he can borrow from this person. Means both can borrow from IGST if IGST has excess. Clear? Yes. And the last concept is this person can borrow from this person can borrow from this fellow. This person can borrow from IGST, this person can borrow from IGST. But CGST cannot borrow from SGST, SGST cannot borrow from CGST. These two members cannot interchange. He has 7,000, this 7,000 this fellow cannot take. Why? Because there is no internal transaction between CG and ST. Clear? Yes. Remember this graph. There is no helping of these two, CGST and SGST. This is only concept of your input tax credit. Hope you understood. Now we are in the last question of your session 1. So again, this will be your 20 marks. As I told you, for 20 marks you will get one theory question. This will be your registration procedure, prohibition of import and export, or else the third question will be types of custom duty. In the last year question paper, they have asked, explain the registration procedure under GST. Now, these are the registration procedure. Explanation not required. Only the exact point you have to mention. If you are very weak in practical, remember you can also pass in this subject by writing theory. So total points you have. Please take screenshot of this. So total you have points around up to O. Almost 15 to 16 points you have. This is more sufficient for your complete 20 marks problem. Don't write anything on your own because it is a registration procedure. In your own, you cannot register this. That's why you have to write the actual points what it is given in your notes. Take screenshot of this. So this is all your about your session 1. Session 1 we completed your 20 marks 2 problems and again 10 marks 1 and your theory part. So your part A is done, means almost 40 marks we completed. In your session 2 we will go with your 10 marks part B as well as your 5 marks part C, which are very important if you want to just pass. If you want to centum, for both the way, the part B will help you. Thank you.